Hey everybody, Matumbo here. Welcome back to the channel, and today we are playing some more historic here on Magic Arena. And today we have a fun build, and I'm super stoked to be playing this because this is one of my favorite archetypes and one of my favorite cards on Arena, and I'm super happy that this got submitted. So real quick though, before we hop into today's deck, I want to remind everybody, if you enjoy the channel and the video, go ahead and just like, comment, and subscribe. Do all the things you can to interact with the channel. And in case you don't know, we have Decktember going on. So if you're not familiar with Decktember, just a quick recap on what it is. It is me giving back to the community and the viewers by playing your decks that you submit to me in Discord. So if you want to be a part of Decktember and you want your deck considered for one of the videos, please head over to the Discord channel, head into the Decktember channel in Discord and check out the pin post and see how you could submit your deck, and maybe it'll be chosen for a video. And yeah, that's what we were doing. And today's deck, we're gonna hop right into it, and we are calling it Pickle Amulet. So this deck is called Pickle Amulet because it was submitted by one of our Discord members, Maximum Pickles. And again, super stoked to be playing this. So thank you, Maximum Pickles, for the deck list. This is an Abzan Primal Amulet build. So we're going to get to do a bunch of cool, fun things. If you're not familiar with Primal Amulet, it is a 4-mana artifact. It says instant and sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. And then anytime you cast an instant or sorcery spell, you get to put a charge counter on it. And then when there are 4 or more charge counters on it, you actually get to flip it over, and it becomes a land that says add a mana of any color. And then when you tap this and spend that mana to cast an instant or sorcery spell, you actually get to copy that spell. So our spells are going to start getting copied, and we are going to get out of hand, and we're going to do unfair things, and we are hopefully going to just kill our opponent by playing this cool card, Torment of Hailfire, and copying it. So 2 black and X, repeat the following process X times. Each opponent loses 3 life unless that player sacrifices a non-land permanent or discards a card. So if we pay 8 mana into this, our opponent has to discard a card or sacrifice a non-land permanent. And for every one of those that they can't or don't do, they're going to lose 3 life. So that right there would be potentially 24 life that they lose. And if we copied that with one of our Primal Amulet lands, the Primal Wellspring, they would have to do that a total of 16 times, which would be 48 damage that they would lose, or life that they would lose. And that is probably going to be the game. So yeah, and plus we have a ton of other cards, a lot of instant sorcery spells, it looks like, that are going to allow us to abuse Primal Wellspring once it is flipped over. So let's take a look at this deck. We have, looks like 2 Cling to Dust, one mana instant that lets us exile a card from a graveyard. If it's a creature card, we gain 3 life, or we get to draw a card. So this looks to be pretty good because it's going to gain us life if we need it to keep us alive, or draw us cards in order to dig for basically just better cards that we want. 4 revitalizes are great in a deck like this. They allow you to gain life. When you copy these, you get to gain, multiples of 3 life. So if we copy this once, we get 6 life and 2 cards. That is really good. And on top of that, if we have a Primal Amulet in play on top of a flip Primal Amulet, and we only pay 1 white mana to gain 6 life and draw 2 cards, that's really busted. Explore, a great card, being able to play an additional land and replaces itself to draw a card. Gaia's Blessing, to be able to reshuffle cards back into our library. We can reshuffle 3 cards back into our library and draw a card. And if it gets put into our graveyard from anywhere, if it gets put into our graveyard from our library, we get to shuffle our whole graveyard into our library. So if we're playing against like a mill deck and they happen to mill one of these, it's just going to get shuffled back in, and then they're probably going to concede because mill can't really beat this card. Also worth noting, it looks like Pickles added 3 copies of Discovery Dispersal. So with Discovery, we get to surveil 2 and draw a card. So surveil basically means you look at the top 2 cards of your library, and then you get to put any of them into your graveyard. So if we actually put a Gaia's Blessing into our graveyard with surveil, we're actually going to also get to shuffle our graveyard back into our library. So that's pretty good, worth noting. We've already covered Torment, 2 copies of Foreboding Fruit. This is a 3-mana spell where it says target player draws 2 cards and loses 2 life. So this is going to be a great way to draw extra cards because it does only cost 1 black mana. Also, if we happen to pay the full 3 black mana, we'll actually get a food token. So that's actually going to get us back the life that we lost to cast this, +1, and it will help keep us alive. A couple copies of Mythos of Nithroi. This looks to be, this is a removal spell. So this is kind of like Assassin's Trophy. If we pay the full Abzan, trio of colors, black, green, and white, or we could just kill creatures for just 1 black and 2. So this could be pretty powerful. Don't really know how this will play out, but it is good targeted removal because it can remove anything on the board, except for land, obviously. Scale the Heights. So Scale the Heights, this is kind of like Explore. Put +1/+1 counter on up to 1 target creature, so you don't have to put it on a creature. You gain 2 life, and then you can play an additional land this turn and draw a card. So we get to play an additional land like Explore, we get to draw a card like Explore, and we gain 2 life for that extra mana. So we could actually shock on turn 3 and then gain those 2 life back from the shock land to really just to negate that loss of life. That's pretty good. 1 copy of Settle the Wreckage for removal, 3 copies of Wrath of God for mass removal, 2 copies of Mastermind's Acquisition. This is great. This lets us go through our library for any card, or it lets us go through our sideboard for any card. And we have a ton of, looks like 1-ofs in our graveyard, except for Necromentia. Necromentia looks to be, this is one of those cards where you get to name a card and then you get to exile all the copies of that, depending on where they are. And then they get zombies if those cards are in their hand. But this is going to be good against some of those cards that we probably can't deal with. Stuff like Ugin and Ulamog, stuff like that. We keep dropping our pen here. Sorry about that. We have 1 copy of Vraska's Contempt. Targeted removal. Notably, can remove creatures or planeswalkers. We have, this is an interesting card. Consecrate and Consume. So exile target card from a graveyard, and we get to draw a card. So that's good because this could potentially only cost 1 mana. This gets to eat Uros, Luris targets, stuff like that. And then Consume for 4 mana or 3 mana if we have a Primal Amulet in play. Target player sacrifices a creature with the greatest power among creatures they control, and we gain life equal to its power. So that is also a way for us to stay alive. I do like that. I actually think I like the Consecrate side better. So this will be pretty interesting to play with. And then we also have, like I said, Discovery Dispersal and 1 copy of the Immortal Sun. So this turns off planeswalkers, lets us draw extra cards, makes our spells cost less, gives our creatures +1/+1, which is irrelevant. But those other 3 abilities are pretty sweet. And how many land are we playing? We are playing 22 land. That is pretty low, but Primal Amulets do flip into land, so I guess 26 land, and we have a ton of ways to draw cards. So again, I'm super stoked about this. Maximum Pickles, thank you so much for submitting one of my favorite deck types. I'm so excited to be playing this. And again, if you want to be considered for Decktober, head over to the Discord channel and get that all submitted for you. So yeah, let's hop into the gameplay, and we're going to play a few games with this deck, and then we'll change it up and then play our deck, and we'll see how they fare. So we'll see you guys soon. All right, Abzan Amulet, one of my favorites. Awesome that this deck was submitted. Really, really, really looking forward to playing this list. Already see some cards that I'm questioning, but again, who am I to say what card is good in what deck all the time? So these could be really good cards. That this is a this is a cool name, Fresh Prince of Bellerin. All right, so what do we do? I think we're gonna keep this. This is a weird hand, but we get to Triome, into Castle, into Explore, into Triome. I don't know what we were about to do there. Give us some land, give us some land. Alright, so this is a Presence deck. So we probably need to kill this. And maybe they go after... Oh, Calyx, okay. Not sure how I feel about Calyx. Need a way to remove that calyx immediately.
Show me my path.
Draw some cards. The Cling to Dust is probably gonna be, or not the, this Mastermind's acquisition is probably gonna be. We're gonna go get the Casualties of War. I think we should have explored first. Creature, Planeswalker, enchantment, land.
Stars will light our way.
Seems okay. Seems like some good hits here. Enchantment. Yeah. That's a good hit. That's a good hit right there. Can we afford... I think they can kill us here. I mean, we could definitely gain some life. This Consume is going to get this champion. I did think about just getting rid of it because they're going to get a ton of card draw off of it. Actually, they're not going to. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. 1, 2, 3, flip. Oh, yeah. This is going to be... Well... Yeah, us getting to copy this is pretty good. So, yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and take those two. It's pretty good. Yeah, that was pretty good. Alright, so we're going to get back to Casualties, a Mastermind's acquisition, and... Oh, just a Discovery Dispersal. So we're sitting at a pretty healthy 17 right now. Not a fan of that. But what do we copy? Could play this, get rid of both of those. I think we have to do that. And I think we're just going to go ahead and draw two here. Don't have to worry about copying it right now. Yeah. This is working out pretty good. So they get to draw a card. They're going to get to draw another card with the All That Glitters. Oh, they have two Destinies. Okay, two Destiny Spinners. Seems good. Gain some life. Yes. We will target Calyx. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, let's be smart about these cards that we're going to be getting rid of. And Mirari's Wake. That way we can draw 2. If we hit a Wrath. That's pretty good. So I think we're just going to go ahead and kill this Enchantress's Presence. Not worrying about copying again. We will get to settle this turn. They'll probably play an All That Glitters on one of the Destiny Spinners. I want them to feel like we're on edge when in reality we're not on edge, you know, that much. So they'll have 8 mana here. We do have to be careful. We don't want them getting all crazy Ugin Ulamog in play. This Primal Amulet was a really good draw. So I think we are literally just going to use this as a land destruction spell. Take them off of green. This is going to take them off of 8 mana, so they can't Ugin right now. What did I just hear? Right, Champion is pretty good. Banishing Light is fine. We're not super concerned with Banishing Light. This draw here was actually pretty, I feel like pretty insane, right? I think we're gonna get a Cruel Reality. This puts him on the clock. I really thought about getting like an hour revelation or something like that, but okay. So now if we hit pretty good. Alright, so we will draw a card. Only lose 1. Let's see what they have here. All That Glitters and Enchantress's Presence. Torment of Hailfire. Yep. So we're just going to copy that next turn and probably just be done with the game. Oh, I wish we could have gotten that out right now. So they have to sacrifice non-land permanents. So how much mana is this? 6, 8, 14. Do this for 12. And we are off to the races. Good game. Whew, that was a long first game. That was a long first game. Oh, but this deck is sweet. Ah, I love Primal Amulet decks. Alright, well, going into game 2, everyone. Get them water bottles ready. Redder. Color them in with a red marker. Oh, let's hydrate. Hydrate hype. We're doing it. Oh man, if we thought the last name was great, this one is a little bit of an overachiever. Gigantha. So this is probably a red deck. We have to navigate this deck pretty carefully if it's just burn. Luckily we have 6 points of life gain in our hand. No, it's not. It's okay. Alright, well, you've got yourself an elf. I wonder if this is an explore deck. So this is going to be a Bolus's Citadel deck? Oh, Abzan, okay. Oh, it's one of these decks. It's one of these decks. This is definitely not the hand for this. We really need to get to our sideboard as quickly as possible. If they play another elf here, we're just going to Wrath. We might just Wrath anyway. No, I think we have to go digging. We have to hit one of our tutors. We have to hit one of our tutors. And yeah, we're just going to end the turn. We get to revitalize. I feel like shrines, you know, or Hondens, however, whatever you want to look at. I feel like it's just one of those decks that you just like kind of forget about every once in a while, and then you run into it. Well, I wish we had a blue mana available. I do, in fact, wish. Those are not going to do us any good. So, not looking too good here. We're about to... They're probably going to grab the discard one. That would be the best thing for them to get. Oh, they're going to go for the card draw one. They might have the Black Honden in their hand. Oh, are they just going to play Gigantha? Really? I don't know if I'm on the Gigantha train with you. I don't really know if there's much we want to actually go back in. And just go ahead and get rid of Gigantha, just in case. Not the card we were wanting. Alright, so we're going to take 5 here. This happens now, right? Oh yeah, there's absolutely no way for us to recover from this, unfortunately. No way to recover from this. We just didn't draw any tutors. We're gonna take, we take basically 24 next turn, 6-12. This happens. Yeah. Yep. Get rid of their island. Again, not going to concede. We typically like to try to get everything. Yeah, we still lose. Good game. Good game, overachiever. You truly live up to your name. Oh man, God, we were just one tutor that whole early game away from getting a board sweep, and then just starting him over, sending him back in time. But all right, on to the next game. Game 3 in progress. Untrack, welcome. Welcome to the game. We get to go first. I think this is actually worth keeping. So we can shock in to revitalize, which actually nets us 1 life. Not gonna do that though. Not withdrawing the Triome here. Ooh, so this is a vehicle deck. Interesting. I'm intrigued by some vehicles. Vehicles sound sweet. So we are going to... Yeah, this just negates the damage. Okay. So this cruise. So we are going to pay 1 life here. I'm sorry, 2 life. They can crew that up and attack for 4. And I feel like that's okay, right? Good thing, my friend. Pretty good draw there.
Sun from the heavens, Heliod. I am proud of my comrades.
We're gonna gain a few life here. Go up to 14. We're gonna Wrath. Let's think. So we could Primal Amulet, Shock, Wrath. We'll take 3. I think just Wrathing is the play. They still get to make tokens with Elspeth and crew and attack for 3. But we definitely need to get some cards. Another Wrath is actually pretty good. Yeah, so that one of those gets to crew. We get to gain. Oh.
You want to go, tough guy?
Oh shoot.
Oh,
That's not
is gonna hurt.
not good at all. So Wrathing flips. We need to be able to deal with the Chandra. do we do here? Yeah, I think we have to go digging. I think we have to go digging. Good. Those are not going to do us any good either. We could potentially gain 6 life here, which is fine. I think we have to keep this open. Yeah, I think it's imperative that we keep open 6 life. They can't attack us, but they can activate Chandra. In an ideal world, they just hit land, so it forces them to burn us.
Yup.
That's fine too. Maybe they prioritize putting that in the graveyard, and then we can actually cling to dust it. Gain life here. The Mastermind's acquisition is pretty interesting. So do we want to... So we're going to get... I think we're going to go ahead and get... Sorcerer's Spyglass. This is kind of an iffy play because we just saw that they're playing Prison Realm. We're going to name Chandra. Or you bring her in their hand too. Yeah. Okay, so that's 4. They're going to pump it up to 6.
I will do my best to support you.
We're going to gain 3. We're going to gain 3 and draw a card. We're going to be at 2 life.
My peace for yours.
Let's draw a check land. Oh, we actually drew a check land. So how much damage can we deal here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 9, 7, 14. They can only sack 3, 4, 5, 9. They take exactly lethal. We're going to manually tap this. 2, 3. Wow, they take exactly lethal. Exactsies. Unless we miss the math, they take exactsies. Yep, we did it. Good game. Oh yeah, that was great. We had to risk that, and it worked out. Oh man, let's go talk about this deck. This deck is sweet. All right, so that was a really cool way to end those 3 games. But really, let's talk about this deck. You can't see a couple of the cards on the screen due to the sideboard. We'll get to those later, but I really feel like the cards are almost irrelevant, the ones you can't see. But let's talk about the deck overall. So first off, as we can see, we're running a pretty few number of lands. We only have 22 land in the deck, and I know that potentially we have 26 if we're able to flip all 4 of our Primal Amulets, but we can never really expect to be flipping more than 1 or 2 Primal Amulets at the most in a game, and that's even if we do get to flip one. But I do feel like and let me start out by saying I really like the fact that we have 7 ways to play extra lands. So first off, I think that's great, but because we're playing so many ways to put extra lands in play, I think it's imperative and it's really important that we put in a couple more land. I don't think 22 is enough in a deck like this. I do feel like we just want to make sure that we're hitting our land drops. I feel like that's going to be priority number 1. Now, it's going to be really hard for me to comment and really maybe convince some of you people that some of these cards need to be replaced. Partially due to the fact that I feel like in all 3 of those games, we saw a use for all of the cards in this deck. And when you get to see something like that, you can make an argument on both sides. So you have both sides of the fence saying, okay, well, you can't replace this card because you obviously used it in, this game, or, oh yeah, go ahead. It wasn't useful in these other games. You're not going to be seeing that when you're playing, the meta that you're used to being faced against or matched against. So really, again, decks like these, Primal Amulet decks are typically not going to ever be super competitive. You can easily climb the ladder with them. I know multiple people who have hit Mythic playing a Primal Amulet deck. Some of them being content creators and some of them just playing for fun because they enjoy Primal Amulet. So I do know that it is possible to play, I would say semi-competitively because you are playing on the ladder. You are playing the ranked matches. But again, these types of decks, because it's going to be based around what you're wanting to do and what you're wanting to get out of it, it's really going to be preference. So, at first glance, Cling to Dust. Cling to Dust is a great card. Don't get me wrong. 1 mana, exile a card, it gets rid of Uros. It just gets rid of cards in the graveyard, so we can draw a card. It allows us to escape later on in order to draw even more cards. So yeah, that's great. But then at the same time, you really don't ever need more than 1 of these, because obviously if you have more than 1 in the graveyard, it's going to cost the same in the graveyard. You're not really going to get any bonus value out of them if they're both in the graveyard. And on top of that, this kind of kills the synergy that we have with cards like Gaia's Blessing. So if we're removing cards in our graveyard, we're typically wanting anything that we're casting that's hitting our graveyard, we're typically wanting to get back into our deck. So, Gaia's Blessing, obviously, we don't ever want to get rid of Gaia's Blessing with Cling to Dust. And the cards that we're exiling, like I said, we don't want to be exiling because typically we want to be recasting them. And then also, if we were to surveil a Gaia's Blessing with Discovery Dispersal, then the Gaia's Blessing is going to trigger. We're going to reshuffle everything back into our library. We're going to lose the value from the Cling to Dust. So it kind of doesn't matter that we have multiples of these. So I think the first thing we do is, in my opinion, is we would cut down this one. I do like Revitalize. I think Revitalize has to be in a Primal Amulet deck that has white in it. Essentially, it is a 1 mana gain 3 draw card spell. Explorer's great. Gaia's Blessing I think is great. Could also look at maybe adding some Balaged recoveries because that's a great card in itself. Torment of Hailfire obviously is a great win condition. One of the cards you can't see is another Torment of Hailfire over here in the sideboard. In case they are able to deal with this Torment of Hailfire, we do have a backup, for the Masterminds acquisition. Scale the Heights, again, another great put lands into play card, because again, it does gain life, and notably, when you don't have to put a +1/+1 counter on a creature. It says up to one target creature. So if we don't have any creatures in play, because obviously we're not playing any creatures, we don't have to put anything on there. So I do actually like this card. I was a little skeptical of this at first, but I do enjoy this. Same goes with Mythos. Mythos, again, I was kind of skeptical on, but I do like the dual usage there, where we can play it for just black and colorless to kill a creature, and then we also get to have that secondary ability of Assassin's Trophy, essentially, by paying the whole 3 Abzan color mana in order to get rid of any permanent. So it kind of serves a dual purpose there. It can be cost reducted to kill a creature, and then not if we're actually killing something else. So this was another card I was kind of up in the air about, but I really feel like this did belong in the deck. Foreboding Fruit, again, this is a great card draw option, typically, because we are able to pay this for 2 mana if we have a Primal Amulet in play. It does add to our hand. And then, so the only weird thing about this card is the fact that if you have a Primal Amulet in play, you're never going to be able to cast the Adamant cost of it, because you're only paying 2 mana into it. So we can't pay 3 mana into it, because Primal Amulet's going to prevent that. So it's definitely worth some noting. One Settle's fine. Wrath of Gods are great. This might be something we want more of. Mastermind's Acquisition, I think, is a card we definitely want more of. Not sure about the Vraska's Contempt in here. The Immortal Sun, I think, is great. Sometimes this might be a 2 of. Discovery, I think it should always be a 4 of, because this is something that's going to fuel your Primal Amulet. At the same time, it's also going to be fueling the it's going to be fixing your draws. So, and then Consecrate, Consume. I'm not completely sold on this, even though it did work for us in game 1 really well. But yeah, so those are really my thoughts on all these cards. I do like that this draws a card, and it costs 1 dual color mana there. But yeah, we really need to up the land count. So, and then we need to work on some of these sideboard cards, because I don't think all of these sideboard cards belong. So yeah, one of these, Peer to the Abyss, I don't really think that this belongs in this deck. So all right, well, let's do a little time traveling and see what we come up with. All right, well, here we are with the magic of teleportation and time travel. We have the updated list. So we actually did a little bit of tinkering with some different cards. And first thing I want to hit on is we almost kept the lands exactly the same. So we're still playing 22 lands that are actually lands, but we are going to be playing 2 copies of Balaged Recovery. So this does bring us up to 23 and 24 lands that we could potentially play. This also gives us the option to use these as a recursion spell to be able to bring back a card from our graveyard. Notably, we also actually put a Balaged Recovery in our sideboard as well, in case we need to tutor for a land. Maybe we need to make sure we hit land number 6, or make sure we hit number 5 for some reason, or at least have the land on that following turn. So it is kind of worth putting in there just in case, and it does serve a dual purpose in regards to, again, being able to recur something out of the graveyard. We did switch the plains, the basic plains I was in here, for a swamp, and I just feel like black is a little more important in this deck than the white is. We have more double black mana casting cost things. We have more black cards in general. And we really thought about, just moving the plains to a different dual type land. But then again, there are some times you get Field of Ruined or Assassin's Trophy. We need to have at least 1 target in our deck. If we draw it, so be it. But at least it's going to be in here for that particular reason. So we did up the copies of Discovery Dispersal up to 4. We did up Mastermind's Acquisition up to 3. We upped the Mythos count up to 3 as well. Dropped the Cling to Dust to 1. And we took out the Foreboding Fruits and the Vraska's Contempt. So, oh, and the Consecrates. So, mainly I wanted to hit on the fact that one of the cards we're putting in, which has really good synergy in this deck, this is a card we actually should have been playing in our deck from yesterday with the Oath of the Hate Watch deck. But, so, Yeheni's Expertise is pretty cool. So this is going to kill a lot of creatures. It's a mass removal spell. It gives all creatures -3/-3 until end of turn, and then it says you may cast a spell with converted mana cost 3 or less from your hand without paying its mana cost. So this is good for multiple reasons. So not only do we get to play any of our 3 or cheaper cards, which we have a ton of, we get to play them for free, so we don't have to pay the casting cost. We actually can also cast the Discovery side off of Discovery Dispersal, so we have even more cards that we can cast for free. And on top of that, because it specifically says that we can cast a spell instead of just playing the spell, it actually will trigger Primal Amulet, and we will get an extra counter on the Primal Amulet. So there's some really good synergy there. This is something I want to try out. We also changed the sideboard a bit. As you can know, we threw in an Elder spell. We took out one of the Necromenchas. We had already mentioned we put in a Balaged Recovery. We put in a Cleansing Nova. And what else did we take out? We took out the Chromatic Orrery. We didn't need that. But we got the sideboard back up to 15. Cards you can't see right now are going to be Cruel Reality. You can barely make out the Immortal Sun, Cruel Reality, Heliod's Intervention, and Torment of Hailfire. So that is the changes to this deck. I do feel like hopefully this will be a little more consistent. Again, though, it's really going to depend on how lucky we get with our matchups. But I am really looking forward to seeing how this deck plays out. We've already had some really sweet games that I was really, really fortunate to highlight and be able to record. And I'm really curious to see how well this Yeheni's Expertise is going to pair with Primal Amulet. So, because this is basically a 2-for-1, plus all of the creatures we killed. Just this is a positive 2-for-1 for us, because again, we get a counter on the Primal Amulet for casting this and for casting the other spell that we cast. So, yeah. So let's hop into the games. And let's see if we can just steamroll our opponents just like we did with the previous version. So, Pickle Amulet, version 2. Let's do it. All right, Pickle Amulet. Pickle Amulet, version 2. We're doing it. We just need an opponent. So, bring us your worst, Arena. Just not goblins, right? Even goblins. Who cares? Let's just deal with goblins like we deal with all of the other decks we've been. So, this is an interesting hand. We can revitalize on turn 2, scale on turn 3, masterminds on the... Yeah. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. Oh no, it's going to be goblin. It is... Oh my gosh. I was only kidding. Settle the Wreckage isn't bad. Settle the Wreckage is not... Okay, so this could very well be goblins. Ooh, so maybe... Yeah, this might be better. Yep, I think we're going to go with the plan here. Holy Cranko. Holy Cranko. So we're just going to revitalize, shock this into play. I'm a little nervous here. We did ask for this. I don't know if they want to trade in a token for a 1/1. It's like they do. Gem Palm Incinerator. You trade a token and a tapped and a Wily Goblin for the Cycle Incinerator. Oh, they're just flat out casting it. All right, let's do it to it. Remember, we asked for this. Remember, we asked for this. Day 2 life. Expertise. And then we are going to scale the heights. I don't know. Oh, you actually have another incinerator. Okay. All right, let's gain some life. What do we do here? What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? So, I do think we have to play this as a land. I think we should have played it as a land last turn, so that was a little bit of a mistake on our part. So I think we're just going to go for the ultimate removal spell. Yep. So we're going to take 4 damage here. But on the bright side, we get to kill a bunch of their stuff. We have 3 extra life in our hand. Oh, why do they still have that? How much mana do we have? Alright, we're gonna do one of these. Oh, perfect. Okay. Okay. We're gonna give them a bunch of. We're gonna give them a bunch of land, but we're gonna gain life. They have Muxus mana now, which kind of sucks. So we need to turn them off of. We need to turn them off of Muxus. So. No Muxus. Muxus just wins them the game immediately right there. Snoop's pretty good. Definitely have to get rid of Snoop. And we are going to take a reshuffle. Casualties, Mastermind, and Mastermind. Seems pretty good. Seems like a pretty good 3 cards to put back in against goblins. Especially since we knew they were drawing a land. Got a Mythos back. Fling to Dust is pretty good. Alright, so we're just going to go ahead and get rid of Chandra.
This was a waste of my time.
And we actually don't need this, so we're just going to cycle. So we are drawing a lot of cards. Alright. So we're going to go ahead and get rid of a castle. We're going to get rid of Land, explore, 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 and explore. Seems fine. This is a great card to draw. Don't need a Wrath right now. Don't really... Well, this is 2 life. Typically, I wouldn't keep this if we were playing against a different deck. But it is 2 life. 2 life does maybe matter. Oh. Oh, goblins, where are you going? Run back to your cave. Run back. We asked for the goblins. We got the goblin. And the goblins went scurrying away. All right, game 2. Should we hydrate again? Should we? Yeah, why not? Can never hydrate too much. Unless you were probably to like drink like 10 gallons of water in a day. That's probably too much. That is probably too much. So, Izith. All right, going first. Orion? I wonder if this is a Genesis Ultimate. Looks like it could be. Yep, killed a goose, okay. We're going to go ahead and... Oh, so this is Bant. Oh, it's Panharmonicon. Oh, oh no. All right, what are we doing here? What are we doing? What are we getting? What are we getting? I kind of want to get this Necromentia. We don't have enough white mana for that currently. Yeah, we're gonna set up to be a little greedy here. I mean, there was no way we were going to prevent whatever happens this turn. What's the worst card in their deck that we could hit? I just don't want any more Panharmonicons hitting. They have a lot of exiling and card draw. Oh, it must be nice. Must actually be nice just ripping that off the top. Good news is they don't really have anything to do. Asa doesn't really do anything. Gonna go ahead and gain a couple life here. Get rid of Rose. So, what can we get? Maybe we have to take a turn off here. I don't think Yahenni's is going to do anything right now. So the problem is we need to save up and essentially flip Primal Amulet in one turn. Maybe Yahenni's should have been kept, because that would have been a 2-for-1. They're just going to go for it now? No, okay. Oh. Do we get Balaget recovery for the land? Or do we go after their last Panharmonicon? We're just going to go ahead and get the Hour of Revelation. I feel like that's going to be the best thing for us right now. 6, 7, 8, 9. Yorian puts him at 10. $11. Okay, so, oh. All right, well, that was great. And, yeah, let's go digging for land. So again, our goal is to get this Primal Amulet flipped in one turn. Oh, yeah, I think they knew that we were really never going to get them in a position to where they were going to be able to do anything. They realized we weren't really playing any creatures, so they didn't know about the Primal Amulet, but really, once we flip Primal Amulet, it's going to be near impossible for them to get us, because we're just going to get so much value. We essentially become the Panharmonicon deck at that point, because we start getting doubles as opposed to them, because we actually took care of all their Panharmonicons. So I think playing the long game like that, the very patient game, obviously paid off for us. So 2 games, 2 wins, no Primal Amulets. No, it is what it is. Alrighty, well. I figure the likelihood of us actually getting to play Primal Amulet now is probably pretty high, since we've gone two games without actually getting one in play, or needing one in play for that matter. Alright, we're going first. We are going to be playing behind curve. I think we're going to keep it. I'd love to just draw a shock here. Triome's actually pretty good. So I wonder if this is elves or gruel. It's looking like elves. So it makes me think we're going to need to go digging. Digging for a wrath. Oh, bring that pain. Bring the elf pain. You can't not have a play here. Okay. This is just green. We definitely want to make sure we have a land next turn. And I don't think we want to scale the heights, honestly. So if they play, we're gonna have a really good turn if they play a Nissa. If they Nissa here, we get to Yeheni's expertise. Oh, it's not a Nissa. We still get a. This is still a pretty good turn, right? So we get to Yeheni's expertise, and then kill the Night Pack ambusher, which is really good with the free Mythos. This is a pretty good play. Yeah, I don't hate that. But yeah, if you would have seen, if that would have actually been a Nissa there, they would have activated one of their lands because they always do. We would have gotten the land and we would have gotten the other. Oh, that would have been so sick. That would have been so sick. Let's go ahead and play a land. If they only would have had 1/1/1, it might have actually been worth it to put a +1/+1 counter on it so they couldn't have attacked with this Lovestruck Beast. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. What is this? Yeah, I think I'm just going to take damage here. I'm not really worried right now because we're at 26. This doesn't even drop us to 20. Attack with everything, maybe? Okay, so we go to 20. Exactly. And that's not a horrible thing when we're at 20 after getting hit for 6. Oh, wow. Pretty good one. Pretty good one. Top 7. They get any creature. Oh, well, I'm glad they did that after attacking. Seems all right. Seems all right. I would imagine they put another turn timber on top of their library, right? They might not have the land to cast it. They might not have any good hits here. You still have to put something on top of your library that is a bomb, right? The end raise forerunners cost 8? Ambusher is probably fine. We're just going to cast Explore. They're going to play their Night Pack Ambusher. And then I'm going to go into full control, right? And we just get rid of that because we don't want them getting wolves or anything crazy. We're still at 23. I think we're just going to slam this Immortal Sun. They should be playing this Lovestruck Beast. I don't know why they haven't played that yet. All right, Lovestruck Beast has arrived to the party. Okay, don't actually have anything to do here, so they might have artifact removal. Maybe that's what they've been holding on to. We do get to acquisition for a Wrath if we need to. 6, 7, 8. Maybe we see a Ulamog here. Or a Ugin. Oh, Gem Razor, are you kidding me? Good news is they don't get to attack with it. So I think we're just going to set up for next turn here. Hope they don't draw a creature. That went pretty well. So then now they have to have creature into Gem Razor to get rid of this. That's really good now too, because if they have creature and then go to Gem Razor, we get to remove it. And then they're no longer mutating. Or maybe that still counts as a mutate. I don't even know. I don't think it actually counts as mutating at that point. Sounds good. So looks like we're about to find out. Well, we actually got to find out the answer to our question. It only mutates once it actually gets onto a creature. And I think we're just going to put our opponent out of their misery. 5, 6, 7, 8. We're just going to do this for 8. And they can only do it for 2, so they still take 18. If I didn't do this, you guys would tell me that I was BMing or I miss lethal. So. -3. 3 games. No Primal Amulets. Oh, what a crazy world we live in. What a crazy, crazy world. All right. Final boss. Oh, let's do crazy amulet things, please. We should have actually built our deck in such a way where it should be easier for us to get Primal Amulet in play. But for some reason, the stars are not aligning for us. Alright, opponent's going first. What are we getting? My Little Pony. So I feel like we're probably going to get Thought Seized here. Or Thought Erased. In our set.
My prowess is unhome your prowess.
Well, we're going to revitalize at the end of their turn since we can't draw on our turn.
I have just the trick for this.
I want My Little Pony sleeves. Enjoy that Essence Scatter. We're gonna try for it. They can just slam Shark Typhoon, which they are gonna do. Oh, we're gonna go ahead and cast this. I know we don't get to draw any cards, but we're trying to get this flipped. Maybe we keep this and we bait them. Yeah. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. Holy Shark Typhoon. We're going to get Balaged Recovery and Cleansing Nova. Okay. We're about to take 12. 12 here is pretty good. that was a good draw. I feel like this was a good draw. And we're just going to copy this Wrath, right? Copy this Wrath. So we don't really care if they get us to a point where they memory us because we only have 2 cards in our hand. It's yep. Seems good. It's actually yep. Completely understand. I do wish that Narset was not in play. Still know that we are not drawing any extra cards. I still know that's a thing. All right. Could flip this now, but then we miss out on a card. They're just going to try to kill us right now. So if we actually draw our Torment of Hailfire, this is a great draw, actually. That was a great draw, too. What do we do? What do we do? Oh, what do we do, guys? What do we do? I wonder what they're digging for. I think I'm just going to take this. Yeah, that's why we copied it twice, so. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. All right, we got 5 mana to work with. Five mana to work with here. Definitely gonna get that. We're gonna get that, and I think yeah, I think we're gonna go ahead and get an Elder Spell. I think we're gonna kind of do this to try to like bait them out.
This
The next turn we should be able to Torment of Hailfire them for like 1,000,000. Five, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So this is for 9. Hold on. Maybe they don't have any counters? It did kind of go pretty quickly there to the 9 or to the Torment. I am pretty happy with this. I was worried that they might have Torrential Gear Hulk into like negate into another one. Oh yeah, they don't have it. Oh, that felt great. That was a long, drawn-out game. Holy moly. Oh, man, what a great game. Let's head to the wrap-up ASAP and talk. All right, everybody, welcome back to the wrap-up. We killed it. We went 2-1, and then we went 4-0. So, again, I love Primal Amulet, and it was pretty crazy that 3 of our wins that we got from our round of actually playing the deck, we actually didn't even need the Primal Amulets, but that actually does speak really well of the deck. It has some versatility. It has other ways to win. You don't have to rely on the combo aspect of duplicating cards with Primal Amulet. You can just control the board for a while and then just blow them out with a giant torment of hailfire, as proven in what we did. So it is pretty cool to be able to do that. So we're just going to kind of flip in back and forth between the two decks. So as you can see, there's not a lot of differences in the deck. You can really say that the land pile is exactly the same. Really, the only difference, again, are just going to be a few cards and then bumping up some of the numbers for some of the cards that we want to draw more consistently, you know, like Discoveries, Masterminds, Acquisitions, and then the Mythos. So really important. I do think Yeheni's Expertise is a great fit in this deck, again, because of the fact that you get 2 Primal Amulet counters. You get 2 of those charge counters whenever you cast Yeheni's Expertise into a free spell. So great synergy there. Plus it just adds to more removal. So we just get more removal off of that. More mass removal is really important as well. But yeah, I really love playing Primal Amulet. I can't say that enough. You can build this deck almost an infinite number of ways. Really almost any combination of colors. You know, just as long as you have really good payoffs, really good ways to draw cards, ways to control the board, the ways that you can build Primal Amulet are pretty much, like I said, almost endless. I always recommend having a Primal Amulet deck built, you know, just so you can play for fun. Sometimes, you know, if you're grinding ranked, you know, whether or not you're playing, you know, like a like an Esper control shell, or even if you're playing something dumb like Goblins over and over again to try to grind those games in ranked. And I'm not saying, you know, what you do is wrong at all. Again, it's going to be how you like to play. But having a fun deck like this can really break up the monotony. And again, these decks actually can climb the ladder. So these can climb ranked. These can get you to mythic ranked. You know, just figure out what you're seeing a lot of on your end and then build around that. Primal Amulet is really powerful once you get it flipped. It basically becomes a duplicate. Every spell you cast almost is a duplicate. So, you know, you don't really have to worry about counter spells at that time because you're actually getting to duplicate cards, and it is just overall, I think, a fun and a great way to play Magic. So again, not many different cards. I do think the Balagad recoveries were great in this deck. The sideboard obviously is great. I feel like the cards that we put in the sideboard really add to it. Elder Spell was a good hit. I really like, you know, there just being a lot of 1-ofs in the sideboard. I really did think about putting, you know, 2 of some cards like Casualties of War. I actually even thought about putting a Casualties of War main deck while we were building, but I said, you know what, let's just go how Maximum Pickles was building the deck, and let's just go from there, and let's just see what happens. So again, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoy the video. If you enjoy the video and the channel, please hit that subscribe button, the like button, the bell icon. Check out all the cool links down in the description below, you know, whether it be the Discord, the Patreon, or the Twitch link. And if you're enjoying Decktember, all you have to do, like I said, join Discord, head over to the Decktember channel, and submit your deck list and the information that goes with it. Just check the pinned post, and it'll show you how to submit. So with that being said, everybody, please stay safe. We will see you next time. Remember, this channel would not exist without such amazing viewers and subscribers. Thank you so much for interacting with the channel and helping grow the community. And a very big special thank you to the Patreons listed here for supporting the channel.